Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to Home Ownership Tips. In today's video, you'll learn 8 tips to winterize your home. Now, these are some things that you want to do to your home before the freeze starts setting in. And this time of year, we know it's coming soon if it's not already sneaking up on you. My name is Andrew Finney. Please consider me your real estate geek. I'm always here to help. My contact information is in the show more description below and always at the end of each and every video. So let's go ahead and get in with tip number 1. Tip number 1 is identifying where you have drafts. We absolutely want to secure and seal up any drafts, whether it be around our door jambs, whether it be around our windows, or whether it's a little crack in the exterior of our facade of our home. Well, go ahead and get that fixed, because if you don't, then you can have some cold air coming in whenever we need it to be nice and warm in there, as opposed to cold. And if it's going to be seeping in, it's also going to cost you more to heat your home. And so we'll want to dodge those drafts by getting it sealed up. So tip number 2 is actually tuning up your technology, making sure that your tuned up technology. So what does that mean? We want to make sure that your batteries are replacing your carbon monoxide detectors, your smoke detectors, and also in anything else that you use in your home, your flashlights, stuff like that that you might need in emergency situations. Make sure that everything is changed out. Make sure that it's all ready to go, and make sure that you have extra candles on hand and extra batteries on hand should the need arise. Check it. If you have one of those programmable thermostats and they're on batteries, go ahead and check those as well. Doing that now will save you any kind of frustration whenever everything gets snowed in. Depending on where you are in the country, being snowed in, you'll be the one that's prepared on your block to help people out in case there's something that happens, and let's hope that it doesn't, but it's best to be prepared. So number 3 is actually making sure you remember to reverse your fans. You know, in the summer months, you normally have your fan set to go counterclockwise, which helps produce cool air. It actually creates a downdraft where it takes the hot air and puts it down into the cold air, which balances it out. And in the winter time, you want it to go clockwise, so that it creates an updraft of air that sucks up all the cold air and warms it up and then brings it back down into the room. So if you have ceiling fans, go ahead and reverse those fans into their winter positions now. Tip number 4 is actually checking your furnace filters. Furnace filters are so freaking important to get done, because you know, if you don't have your clean furnace filters, what can happen is you can impact the way that the airflow is coming through those into your home. And if that's taking place, it's not going to run as efficient. It's going to cost more to heat. It's going to cost more to use. Whenever it's just really as simple as making sure you're changing them out a minimum of every 3 months. And so go ahead and remember to do that this winter. Change them out, so that's one less thing you have to worry about whenever you're enjoying your family time during the holiday season. So tip number 5 is prepping your pipes. Now, if you have exposed pipes, or if you have any pipes running into your house that you believe may be exposed to the elements and could freeze, go ahead and wrap them. Just wrap them up with some insulation. That could also be good for the spigots outside of the house. Go ahead and get some of that stuff from the home store. They make like, essentially it looks like a cone, and you can actually put a foam cone, kind of funny sounding, right? A foam cone onto your spigots, and it just hooks up, and that's it. And you can do the same thing if they're coming out of the ground, and wrap them, foam them out, and that'll keep those from freezing and causing any issues in the winter months for you with your plumbing. You don't want those pipes to burst. If they do, you could get a water leak and not even know about it until the thaw sets in next spring. And that's the last thing you want to be doing, is dealing with any kind of burst pipes. So go ahead and plan for it now before it gets too cold and a little too frozen to be able to make that happen. So tip number 6 is trimming back branches on your trees. You absolutely want to keep your landscape trimmed back at all times, especially going into the fall and winter months, because what's going to happen is, what happens if you have ice on the tree? What happens if you get too much snow on the tree? Well, doesn't it break the branches, right? And if those branches are too close to your property or your neighbor's property, that can cause some damage. It's easy to avoid that by simply keeping your trees trimmed back and clean. Another thing that you want to consider, and we'll get into in a moment with tip number 8, is just, there's a lot of reasons why you want to trim them back and keep it nice and clean. So make sure that you do that. So tip number 7 is to clean your gutters. It should be kind of a misnomer. You definitely want to clean your gutters 2-3 times a year, especially going into the winter months, to make sure that there's no blockage in there. And again, it's not backing up onto your roof with excess moisture that's not needed that could possibly cause water damage. We don't want any water damage with your home. Clean the gutters so that they're able to be used and if there's any type of snow in the milk, and then all the packing, then it has a way of getting released through your gutter system. Go ahead and keep them clean, and your home will appreciate you for that. So that brings us to the final tip, number 8, which is cleaning your chimney out, which goes back to why I was mentioning it in tip number 6, trimming back your branches. There's 2 things that you want to do with your chimney, especially if you have a wood burning fireplace. You want to get a chimney sweep in there and get that clean, because the curiosity caused from burning wood can actually cause a fire in your chimney. Look for things like cracks in your chimney, look for any type of broken flues, look for any type of entry points through the actual chimney itself above. So go ahead and get your chimney taken care of, and the best way to do that is just to simply contact a professional chimney sweep to go out, get it cleaned, make any repairs that need to be done. And whenever I said this has something to do with tip number 6, it does. You want to make sure that there are no branches within 15 to 20 feet of your chimney should there be an ember, especially important for wood burning fireplaces. If there's an ember that gets onto a tree branch, and if it's a dead tree branch because we didn't trim them back, it could cause a fire, and that's one of the things you really don't want happening in and around your home and neighborhood. So remember these 8 tips, and go ahead and feel free to share yours in the comment section below. Please tell us where you're from, give us the city and the state, and your tip of what you have in mind for winterization techniques, so that we can continue to learn and grow as a community. If you have any questions about this, I'm going to put my contact information up. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here to help, and even if you just want to say hi, I'd love to hear from you. If you learned something new from this video, I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. Please subscribe to this channel. Number 2, please like this video. And number 3, please share this video around with someone you know is going to be able to help. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you next week with homeownership tips. Enjoy an amazing day.